All right, Liz, thank you so much for being here with me. So, my first question for you is what kind of drew you in to find food freedom and made you say, you know what, I want to learn more and I want to jump in?
So I knew I needed to make some sort of change in my life. I was in my early 30s and kind of had always been ingrained in diet culture. My parents had like signed me up for Weight Watchers and Curves when I was still a teenager. And so I'd spent like 20 years with all of those voices, like trying to monitor, what I was eating, what I should look like. Um, and so I really wanted to go on a journey of like trying to break away from that, but also getting comfortable in who I am and making those food choices based on what my body needs and listening to what I felt I needed to do.
Awesome. Awesome. We're so happy that you ended up reaching out to us and working with us. So, how has your relationship with food changed throughout working with Find Food Freedom?
It's a totally different experience than what I was doing 6 months ago. If I wake up in the morning and, decide I want a donut, I go and get the donut and I enjoy it. And I'm not worried about, how many calories are in the donut or, what I need to eat or not eat later in the day to kind of counteract that. My body wanted a donut and it felt good and I enjoyed that donut. And that is what brought me peace in that moment. Um, Lots of times I love eating salads too, but I'm not eating the salad because I'm worried about, my body needs to look a certain way or I'm trying to count calories. That's what I'm enjoying at the moment. So it's a lot of, you know, enjoying the simple things, whatever piece of food that is, and, being at peace with that. And also not stressing about it, not stressing about counting calories or counting, the fat content in something, um, and that's just kind of impacted a lot of parts of my life besides just eating meals because you're kind of more relaxed and happier throughout the day because you're not stressing as much about that type of stuff.
Absolutely. More mental bandwidth in your head to do the things you
Yeah,
actually
exactly.
want to do. That's amazing. This is a really broad question, so you can go any way you want with this. But what if someone asked you like, what is your biggest takeaway, or what was one of your biggest aha moments that stuck with you throughout this process? What comes to mind for you?
So I've talked to Julie about this a lot because, my parents, my dad especially, was the one who ingrained me a lot in diet culture. Um, and he's still in his 70s now and still doing all the latest fad diets. And I'm thinking to him, like, well, you're in your 70s. You're supposed to be retired and enjoying your life. Why are you worried about, keto or the cabbage diet or whatever? Why are you stressing about that? And kind of listening to what I had learned through Find Food Freedom and then what I was actually telling my dad, it's like, well, why am I wasting my time, doing all those fad diets and diet culture? No one should be doing that. There's so much more to life than, you know, whatever the diet culture is trying to, oppress upon, and it doesn't matter, what type of body you have, like your life is still so much more than that. And that's what you should kind of be striving and living for and kind of remembering that.
That's so powerful. And last question here. If a friend came to you and said, should I work with Find Food Freedom? What would your answer be and why?
Absolutely. And I've actually recommended the Facebook group to several friends already. So I've actually been trying to recommend them and I've had such a positive experience. So I can't recommend it highly enough.